Hey YouTube, how are you doing? My name is Brandon and I'm a software engineer, and the reason I'm creating this video today is because I'd like to announce that I'm creating a mini series that takes you behind the scenes on what it's like to create a software startup. The software startup I'm creating is called Doink Disc Golf, which you can see here on the screen. And in a nutshell, it's a digital card game that disc golfers can play while they're throwing a round of disc golf, and I'll explain a whole lot more on this later. But before we get started, I'd like to kind of elaborate on why I'm making this channel, what I have planned, and a lot more. So let's go ahead and dive in. So one of the first things I'd like to talk about is actually kind of why I'm doing this mini series about creating a software startup. So one of the first things that I'd like to do is actually add to some transparency into what actually goes into making a software product and sending it out to hundreds of users, and remove some of the mystery about like what it actually takes, what's entailed to create some of these software products. The next thing I'd want to do is also get others excited about creating their own software products. It is honestly one of the most fun things that I think you can possibly do. It's so cool to get your software out there, have other people use it. In my case, playing Doink cards, getting reviews from these users. Obviously, if you're, it's fun to make money as well, but there's a lot of work that goes into it. So it's not easy, not for everyone, but I hope it does get others inspired to create their own software product as well. The third reason I'm doing this is because I want to add value to you guys. After watching a ton of great YouTubers like Sam Ovens, Meet Kevin, TK Cater, Alex Becker, these guys produce a bunch of great content and provide it for free. So I want to do the same thing to you guys. After looking on the internet a ton, I kind of struggled to find a series that went through, here's how you create a startup, here are some of the problems that you'll encounter. A lot of videos are either retroactive, of like, hey, I made something back in the day and here's what it was, or it's they only do it for 2 weeks and you're like left as a cliffhanger of what actually happened. So I hope to continue this series for a long time. There's a lot of work to be done, so we have a lot of content coming your way. And the fourth reason that I'm doing this is because I'd like to start building a community of software developers just like you. I think this channel will turn into a really cool place for really developers of all levels, from wanting to get started on their coding adventures to people who have made much bigger software projects than I have, and really just get people excited about creating things and shipping out into the world. So that's the fourth reason, and this is one of the ones I'm most excited about. One of the main things I plan on doing each week is to give you guys a sneak peek on what are the major tasks that I'm working on, and to let you see the progress, my findings, and everything else along this development process. So for this upcoming week, the main things I plan on doing are revamping my landing page, making sure that I have analytics set up for releasing a new YouTube ad. Everything I've done so far has been pretty much Facebook based, so it's going to be fun setting up everything for YouTube. And on the end of this week, actually release a new YouTube ad that I created, which definitely biased, I think is super funny, but I'm going to show it to you guys here in just a minute, and I'd love to hear what you guys think. So let's take each one of these one by one. So one of the first things that I want to do is revamp my landing page. One of the great things about using Facebook ads is you can set up your pixel to where you can basically set up your own funnel to where like landing on here is landing on the landing page. Whenever a user clicks this, it takes them to the purchase page. And so far I've had about a 21% conversion rate going from this page to the next page, but I definitely think there's a lot of room for improvement. One of the main things I plan on doing is actually making this a little bit more welcoming and friendly and get you excited to play the game. After talking to a lot of my friends and family and some business owners that I'm good friends with, the main thing that I've heard is that it looks very engineering made, and I am so an engineer, so I understand what they're saying. But actually probably make like a fun video be playing in the background here, add some more sections on the different game modes so you know what you're buying, how you're going to play the game, and a bunch of different fun stuff. Maybe make it look a little bit more cleaner, but this is actually the first task that I'm going to work on. So let's go ahead and dive over to the next one. So the next thing I plan on working on is actually this analytics for the new ad. The main thing that I've mentioned so far is that I've done a lot of stuff with Facebook, and I had some good success with doing Facebook ads. But the main thing right now is, after doing a survey with a lot of my customers, the overarching majority of users watch disc golf content on YouTube. So I plan on actually pivoting away from Facebook ads and heading over to Google ads. So I do need to set up tracking and analytics to make sure that I'm capturing purchases and everything else as users go from my YouTube ad all the way to the shop page and to the purchase page. So this is going to be a ton of fun and probably one of the bigger undertakings this week. And the last thing that I plan on doing is launching the ad for YouTube. So let me go ahead and show you guys this video real fast because I think it's hilarious and I want to hear what you guys think.
Hey disc golfers, you might be wondering why Nate here is face down and butts up. It's because we're playing Doink Cards, a digital disc golf card game that you and your friends can play from your phone. With over 100 unique challenge cards and multiple game modes, Doink Cards makes each round exciting and competitive where anyone can win. In Doink Cards, everyone is given multiple challenge cards. These cards can be used to help yourself or to make things more difficult on your friends. Because Doink Cards is a digital game, we're constantly adding new challenge cards and features for free. So no longer will you have to pay for expansion packs and keep up with physical cards. Here you go. So far, hundreds of disc golfers have already played Doink Cards and they're absolutely loving it. So what are you waiting for? Go ahead and click the link below so you can get started playing Doink Cards today.
All right, you gotta let me know what you think of the YouTube video. I was gonna say it was a ton of fun making it, and poor Nate, I slapped his butt like 17 times trying to get that that shot right. So poor guy, but it was a ton of fun making. But yeah, so that's the video that we'll be releasing here later this week. So this is all preparation for releasing that video at the end of the week. So without further ado, let's go ahead and start working on the landing page and working on my exact plans. All right, so here is what we have ahead of us. We're going to update the headers on the main web page. Right now, the background that you guys saw was pretty much all white. We're going to replace it with a grayscale image in the back. Also, instead of having those pictures of the iPhones, we're going to replace it with that fun ad that you guys saw. So people are excited to watch and play the game. We're going to add a game mode section, because we don't talk about that right now. And then some of our users have actually had, well, some of our potential customers have had questions like, what is this game? How do you even play it? So I'm going to break that out and add a section that actually says, here's exactly how you play the game to answer that question. And hopefully help other customers understand exactly how to play. So let's dive in. Okay, so it is officially Tuesday, and got done with work a little bit ago, and now it's back to the grindstone. Got my COVID shot today, so it's definitely a little sore and tired, but full cup of coffee, ready to go. But I want to show you guys the progress where we left off. So right now we have the landing page, changed it out with a background picture and a video. It's definitely more wood-like. I'm still trying to figure out if I like it or not. I sent it out to a few of my buddies to see what they think. So it's tentative on if we'll keep the background or actually just put it back to what it was. But other than that, now it's time to switch back over to adding a new section down here for the different game modes, and yeah, so that's where we're at. So I'll keep you guys posted, and excited to show you guys some of the results we get. Hey everyone, so I think we're done with round one of the landing page, adding all the sections in. I'm still sending it out to a few of my buddies to make sure it looks good, but this is the current version, so I want to show it to you guys. So now the way it looks is we got a nice background where we got my buddy Bucket out there throwing a disc, and we have a picture of what the game looks like so people connect disc golf card game. So hopefully that's what we're going for. Next, I moved the ad down here. I temporarily had it up there, but wood on wood, it didn't look good. So moved it down here so people can just quickly watch the video if they want to. Kept the card features the exact way it looked from before. Same way with the cards in the action. And then now I also added in a section where you can basically look at all the different card modes, because beforehand I wasn't clearly explaining like these are the different game modes that you can play. So now people can go through and see all the different game modes that they can play with their friends. And lastly, I did get a few emails over the past week or so about not knowing how to play the game, or especially when people were purchasing the game. So hopefully we got rid of that barrier and obstacle. So now people can just click this if they want to watch and learn how to play the game. And yeah, so that's pretty much it. So only thing left to do is to make it mobile responsive, but I'm going to do that later because I'm tired of coding. So let's move on to big task 2. All right, so now we're on to testing and fixing bugs. So what we got to do is update the discard pile. It has a few errors. Make sure the new game modes don't have any issues. Already done a little bit of testing, but gonna do a little bit more, and fix the scorecard and then deploy it. So let's get into it. Okay, so next task that we're going to work on here is the scorecard. The goal for the scorecard is to make sure when players do update the score throughout the game, it doesn't create negative. So let me go ahead and show you what the problem is right now. Okay, so next goal that we have coming up is updating the scorecard right here. So currently the problem is that when players update their score, if they skip a hole, it makes it negative. So I'll actually go ahead and show you what it looks like so you can see it for yourself. So right now, if you and I just played hole 1 and then we switched over to hole 2, we would see this. However, if we end up skipping it, what will happen is it'll make the score negative. So this should just be a little logic check to see if the score is 0. Don't add it, add par, and keep going. So this should keep saying even. So yeah, so let's go ahead and knock it out. Okay, so upon actually trying to get this working, I needed to think it out through first. So what I ended up figuring out is I didn't know what I was doing, but I think writing it out helped. So go iPad. So here's what I would like to happen. So if you've played golf or anything like that, you know that there's a par for every hole, and then you take how many shots or whatever, as many as you'd like to take to complete the hole, and then you mark it down. If, for example, if you're over 3, say you get a 4, you get a bogey. If you're under, you get a birdie. Okay, well, when it comes to the app, functionality-wise, what I would like to happen is whether or not a person has put in their score for that hole. So, like, for example, if they have a 0 in there, what'll happen is on the app, it'll just put a dash. Well, what I would like to happen is throughout the whole app, no matter what hole they look at, if they put a 0 or the score, I would like it to show the score. So, for example, if on hole 1, for example, if it's a par 3, if they don't put anything in, I want it to show even. And where I want it to show even at is right here. This is where we want to show it at. So, but same thing is if they do put a score in there for hole 3, right here, if they do put in a 3, I also want it to show even. So the end result will look something like this, is if they, as the person's putting in their score, if for whatever reason they skip a hole, I want to just make sure it counts it as the par, and it'll still even for the whole time. And I think this will solve the problem that some of the users are running into, where it would end up, instead of showing EE and then making this an E, what this would end up doing would show a -4, and that's not what I want. And then it'd be a -7, and that's just, so it's actually taking the overall score and then subtracting. So it just keeps messing up. So I think this is the approach we're going to take. Basically, if it's 0, autofill it with a par, and we should end up with the right one. So back to coding, and hopefully we'll get it right this time. So I think we got it working. The way it works now is like I showed you on the iPad a second ago, to where no matter where, I keep clicking on the wrong thing. No matter where I click and go throughout the app, it should stay at positive 3. So even if I make it negative here and keep going, it should stay and not fluctuate and start adding a negative. So another one marked as done. So on to the next. Okay, so now we're on to the last stage of actual development for the week. And what that is I'm just going to be testing everything I've made for the new game modes, make sure nothing breaks. I actually have, one of the things that I've done is created a staging environment for all the code I write. So on my computer, on my iPhone, which you're looking at, and on my iPad, what I'm going to do is basically play a bunch of rounds of Doink cards and make sure everything works properly, and hopefully find bugs before they go out to people. So that's the goal here. The game modes that we're going to be testing, let me show you real fast, are these two right here, which are Mystery Box and Brawl. Let me actually show you what they look like real fast so you can see what we're doing. Test, I'll just be Brandon, and we'll turn on score tracking as well. We'll start a lobby, let it go, and start the game. But yeah, so this is what we're going to be checking for, just to make sure all these different cards work, make sure that none of the new features are messing up with any of the old stuff, make sure scoring that we just added is working properly, and all that fun stuff. So that's what we're going to be working on, so I'll be back in just... I want to go ahead and show you guys what we've knocked out so far code-wise and next steps on what we're about to do. So, as you can see, we've knocked out the landing page, we've added the 4 features and fixed the bugs in the coding area. And to show you, I want to go ahead and give you a quick demo of what it looks like on the iPhone and iPad together. I just learned I could do this, so I'm excited. So, let's see. So, if we go over to our game, if we do join game, what you'll see is we'll have a little game code over here, and I can go ahead and just join W39YDC. Oh, I skipped something. Yeah, 39. And we'll call you YouTube. I join. I pop up on both screens, waiting for the host. The host can start the game. So this is actually one of the new game modes that we just made, which is Brawl. So as you can see in Brawl, basically the way it works, like I'm moving the iPhone, is you have 3 is Facebook ads. And so I'm an engineer by heart, so Facebook, marketing, all that is definitely not my wheelhouse. And the way I actually learned it was through Sam Oven's Consulting Accelerator. I think it's week 5 on paid traffic. It's, I think, the best basically training you could ever get for Facebook. I mean, he goes step by step through setting up your website, how to run campaigns successfully. So I would, anyone who's looking into it, I mean, it's a pretty steep course, but I'd pay for it again and again. I mean, it was the best course I've ever bought. So, but one of the things that I'm taking away for it and doing with Doink is the way he approaches testing, especially with Facebook ads. So here's what I plan on doing, is I have one image/video, which is the video I showed you earlier of me slapping my buddy's butt and playing Doink cards. So for each video thumbnail, what you end up having is you branch it off to 4 different audiences because you're testing. Does audience A, B, or C do better with this? So obviously one will be disc golf, and I've already done a bunch of testing with previous Facebook ads, so I have a few other audiences that I market to. And then you even go a step further by providing a different message to each of the different ads. So you might just have one that says, "Hey Facebook," or you might have one that says, "Disc golfers stop, you must listen to this." So basically trying to catch people's attention, make sure they're in. But by doing all of this, you can actually come back and go, okay, audiences do well when they see this audience is responding the best, and then this message is responding the best to everyone. So you can kind of hedge your bets or hedge your losses on things that aren't doing as well and double down on things that work. So it's literally just rapid fire testing. It's like A/B testing on steroids. But I love it. And like I said, all credit goes to Sam Ovens. Definitely watch his course because he explains this way better than I ever could. So, but it's time to start making ads and get them ready. So let's go. All right, so I'm a bad person. I did not record the part where I created all the Facebook ads and put them up and ran them for the weekend. But I did capture results for everything, so I do have that to show you. Next time I will kind of take you guys more through the Facebook ad creation process, but it really is just dragging Facebook videos up, adding text, and then blasting it out to the world. So, but yeah, let's go ahead and dive into the numbers. Okay, so here's the results for me running Facebook ads from all of April. This is the before that you're looking at, and then this is the after of me running ads over the past few days on the new campaign that I just launched for the video. So as you can see beforehand, and I've kind of broken it down by a few different things. So one is click-through rate. So this is people are presented with the ad. This is the likelihood that they click the ad and go to my website. The next one that we have is landing page to shop. So this is everyone who's on my landing page who ends up going to the shop page. And the last one is a shop to purchase. So one thing that I did notice now that the Apple iOS 14.1 updates come through, a lot of my stats, I believe, are not 100% accurate. And that's just due to people who opt out of having their information tracked. So I'm actually not as trustworthy in these numbers as I used to be, so I'm going to do some more research on how I can still track what's actually happening on my website. But I did want to run through the results really fast. So the first one is where the biggest change was the click-through rate. There's been a lot more engagement with the video ad than there has been on just the regular text ad, which is awesome, because if you think of like a funnel, the more people that are coming into the funnel, the better, versus a narrow funnel. So the more people that come in, the better. So which is exciting. The next thing that you'll notice is when it comes to the landing page and shop and the shop to purchase, these numbers are still pretty close. There was a little bit of bump on the landing page to shop. So hopefully as time goes on, this number will continue to bump up, because we did put a lot of hard work this week into changing the landing page and driving people to the shop page. So I was expecting a bigger bump there, but hey, it happened. So usually what we'll do is send out a survey to everyone that has bought in the game and people who have not bought the game and say, why did you buy it? Why did you not buy it? And try and just get what's hold people back from buying Doink cards. So who knows? Maybe it's the price. Maybe it's they don't understand something. So hey, we'll do more digging. But yeah, so that's it for the Facebook wrap. If you have any questions, definitely let me know, because like I said, I'm an engineering software engineer by heart, so this was definitely foreign territory for a long time, but it's all making sense now. So let's look at the final weekly recap. All right, so here is the final weekly recap for this week. What we ended up doing was revamping the landing page. I hope you guys saw the before and after and loved it. Definitely, if you have any suggestions on what I could do to make it better, I'd love to hear it. Always looking for more feedback. When it came to adding analytics for the new ads, we definitely missed the mark on that. Got a little too ambitious what we could do in the week, and it was Cinco de Mayo last week, so hey, I had to make some time for seeing my buddies. But we do have to officially launch the new ad on YouTube, and we need to add in the analytics tracking for Google so we can detect basically what we just saw on the previous chart with Facebook and following the user along the journey. And the last one was a success, which was launching the ad on Facebook. So got some more work to do this week, but we'll save that for the next video. So I hope you guys enjoyed the first video of this kind of mini journey, showing you guys some behind the scenes on what's happening for my new software startup, Doink Cards, Doink Disc Golf, whatever you want to call it. And yeah, stay around. Each video will definitely get progressively better when it comes to video quality, editing, and all that stuff. But hey, I want to go ahead and get some content out there for you guys. So thank you, and I'll see y'all next week. Bye.